What the hell is that, Michael?
They did a rollout at the comic shop today of by the way, hi, I'm Michael. Welcome to From My Mother's Basement. To my left on your screen is Jason. Actually, he's the screen, he's on my right, but still. And welcome to the show. At the comic shop today, they did the start of the Fear Itself HeroClix event. No, this is not from that. But I've been wanting to build specific teams like the Bat family and whatnot. I started building the Teen Titans family. Well, they had the super... remember those boxes like I got the super boosters where I got my Sentinels and stuff in?
Yeah.
Well, they have super boosters for Teen Titans in there as well. And I got Trigon, Raven's dad.
Nice.
And it's effing huge.
Which is funny because I was just watching the episode where he...
where he gave him a, I love you, puppy hand. Oh, God, that show was...
You know, as much as we raged...
Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go, yet I'll watch it, you know?
That's the funny thing, because as much as we raged about it the other day...
Oh, we raged about Adventure Time.
Okay, Raged about Adventure Time commented on Teen Titans Go.
Yes.
I can't stop watching it. Like, there was a mini marathon of like 6 episodes earlier today, and I was just like, I'm going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I was watching some of that, and I was like, what the...
So cool, though. I mean, I did see the image online on the Hypno Comics Facebook page. They were hosting that event.
The prize for today's event is Loki riding this mount thing. It's not a, you can't call it a battle cat, but it's kind of feline in its flow, but it's not a cat. It's actually a pretty badass little figure that they're giving away as the prize today.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's cool. What else have you been up to this past week?
Oh, this past week, what have I been up to? Prepping for next week. And fun. Do I want to say that till the end of the show? Yeah, I'll talk about it now. There was some E3 stuff I was keeping an eye on.
Which we'll talk about in a little bit.
We'll talk about in a little bit. Did a fair amount of BioShock Infinite. That sucked a fair chunk of time.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to... Fuck it, I'll talk about them now. Last night, a movie we ran the trailer for...
Months ago.
And I don't know if it hit the theaters locally, I didn't see it, but it showed up on Netflix. So Nikki and I watched Tai Chi Zero last night. This movie... game.
It really does act like a game at times.
The way Nikki described it really well. She said it's basically like somebody got stoned and decided they wanted to make a video game while making a comic while making a movie. The only thing they didn't do was add the cheesy cartoon sound effects and the running in place effect like they had in Kung Fu Hustle. Other than that, it was awesome. We loved it. I was cracking up more times than I haven't fallen out of them and watching a movie like that in forever. I mean, when they show us, hey, it's that guy from the movie such and such in 1978, and I'm like, what? That's in the subtitles? Or, phase factor 1, make it through the front gate, and he fights a guy, gets his butt kicked, and it's like, KO across the screen.
There was many scenes in that movie where I sat and went, this could have been easily just pulled out of this movie and placed in Scott Pilgrim and went just fine.
Oh, man. I watched this. Yeah, I loved this movie so much. Nikki and I are like, we have to get the Blu-ray. This has got to be in our collection. It's that good.
Now he's got to wait for the sequel to come out sometime this year.
To Hero?
Yeah.
Yeah, notice he goes from 0 to Hero?
Just imagine.
Supposedly it came out in January.
It's about that time, yeah. Just imagine how crazy they're going to have to one-up all the fight scenes for the sequel.
Yeah, the fight scene. I mean, Sammo Hung outdid himself on this. I mean, had some incredible fight scenes in this movie. But that's pretty much what I've been up to.
For me, I played a little bit of the of BioShock Infinite because it's just addicting as all hell.
Oh yeah, it is.
Was playing the crap out of what's it called, the Project Diva F demo, because I have yet to import it
this week. That dropped this week, and I was playing the hell out of that too.
To the point where I was starting to get aggravated with it, not because of the gameplay, but because of my.
Didn't go any further.
No, all that, but also my controller. I was getting to the limitations of how I can press everything at a speed on my controller. And then I remember a friend of mine posted online that there's actually an official controller for this game you can buy for the PS3.
Seriously?
And then I looked online and went, oh, that just is sexy, but it's also $160. I'm like, no.
Well, the thing that threw me was when the X comes on and you have to actually hit that thumbstick. I mean, it works once I realized what I was missing, because there's like 0 instructions with this thing.
Oh yeah,
And so I'm like going, how the F do I? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I figured it. And then, of course, the next game I play, after I finally figured it out, it pops up the help screen that tells you what they are. It's like, thanks. Thanks for not telling me sooner. But, I mean, I've gone in, I've already put cat ears and cat tails on Luca.
This is what I was talking about. This is the controller for it.
Oh wow, that's pretty badass.
It's 15 inches.
That looks like the arcade controller.
Yeah, it's a miniaturized version of the arcade controller. This thing's sizable. It's 15 inches by 9 inches, basically. So it's a decent size, but it's also, like you see, it's $170.
Yeah, but it's nice.
It is nice. It's on my wish list now.
Nice.
It's on my wish list now.
Yeah. Send me the link. I'll add it to mine too.
All right then. But enough about what we want. We want to talk about what's happened this past week, and for lack of a better phrase, there was a lot of it.
Yes. Well, this week was, of course, E3. And there was a lot of cool stuff, including, in my opinion, the ultimate bitch slap to Microsoft.
Yes, I'll agree with you with that. In terms of the presentations, yes.
Well, the presentations and you're going to do this? We're sorry. We're not. We're going to do this. Smack. Congratulations, we just won the console war. Yeah,
well, let's talk about some of your news, like the games and whatnot, and then I'll get to that, because we're going to go back and forth on that. Okay. But you, what gameplay that you saw that was actually really
that I really liked?
Yeah.
The new Watch Dogs, the new Watch Dogs gameplay. I want that game so bad I can taste it. My God, that game looks epic.
It looks insane.
Epic. I mean, last year's demo was incredible. This year's demo, oh my God. That game needs to come out. That's all there is to it. And if they come out with a PC version of it, I'll play it on
There is going to be a PC version.
Yes! I will get that. I will play the hell out of that.
Yes, so this is going to be on current gen PS3, Xbox 360, as well as next gen PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So check one for PC. All right.
Yeah. The other one that really got me, that I really, really liked, was Call of Duty Dog. Call of Duty Dog Edition, aka Ghosts. Man, the thing that threw me about it, I mean, obviously there's the dog, which is epic.
Yes.
And the dog's freaking vicious.
Yeah, he is. Oh my God.
Lovable family pet. This is not. When you say Riley, get him, Riley goes, gets him, and rips his throat out. That's kind of impressive. But that's actually, while that was impressive, and the level of detail they put into the dog, beyond, not just the motion capture, but I mean, although you can command the dog in a way that I don't foresee being able to command a real dog. I don't foresee some of the stuff they had the dog do. I don't foresee a real dog doing, if that makes sense.
No, I agree with you. I mean, one of the most memorable moments was,
the dog jumping through the window.
Yeah, the guy with the dog orders the dog to jump through the window to go through the house, and then he
breaks the window to break the glass, and then tells the dog to jump through it, and then brings the guys outside so they can kill him. It's like, I don't foresee a dog doing that.
I mean, who knows? Dogs. I've seen some incredibly trained dogs before, but
not. I mean,
that's problem solving.
They went a little overboard on it, but not.
It's
not
a game, though. You're gonna have fun with it anyways.
Exactly. The thing that actually impressed me surprisingly was parts of the underwater level that they showed. specifically the effects of sonar.
Yes.
When they had that thing where you did the ping and also the
right,
that's realistic-ish. The timing's a little off, but because in the real world, once you hear the ping, you're hearing the wave and you're going to get splatted.
Right.
But the idea that you have to go get in cover,
it's kind of unnecessary because that's not just a sound, that's a shockwave, basically.
Well, exactly. And anyone who's been in the Navy can tell you that the hydrophones on the front of ships are effing huge. Like, they're VW sized, okay? These things are like mega subwoofers, if you will. You know? And you put wub in the ocean. I remember when I was in the Navy, we were doing patrols in the Gulf of Oman, which this one area, it's like flat as glass. It's salt sea, but it was like flat glass. We fired up the sonar and did a ping, and I watched a wave this high, which is about 4 inches, a ripple go out from the thing. It displaces that much water, and anytime there's a diver in the water, you have to turn it off, because if a diver is too close to the thing when that goes off, it will kill them. It will shatter every bone in your body.
Sounds about right, yeah.
So the fact that they incorporated this into the game, which is where I was going with this, was really cool, and that you had to go get cover and stuff. I thought that was a very neat touch.
Yeah, and I on a side note for the game, so Activision at their booth at E3, they had a pretty impressive booth. Like, they had this upper area where you can go out into this giant curved screen.
The mega screen. I want one of those.
What was surprisingly around it, in the sections that people were in line waiting to get into that area, what looked like, and I could be wrong, it looked like, you know, the car manufacturing robots as they move around, but each of them were holding like 50-inch plasmas. I was like, from all the pictures I could see, I was like, that's a cool little feature.
The little 50-inch plasmas moving around and stuff?
Yeah, the little arms, the robotic arms carrying the plasmas around.
Okay, that's just looks cool, but that's just opulence.
Well, you know, it is E3.
That's like, oh, we've got money to spend. Let's do it.
Well, at E3, it's more about, at some situations, it's more about the spectacle than it is the game.
That's true. So. That's true.
And then there's some people like, you know, Square Enix, which has this gigantic movie screen every single year.
Is it the same screen they had before? Because
all the pictures I've seen, it's the same screens they had before.
In that case, they got showed up by EA. Was it EA or Activision?
Activision.
Yeah, they got shown up by Activision. Yeah. That panoramic screen, oh my God. That was sexy.
Makes me wish I was able to go this year, but oh well.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that I didn't get to go this year. It's the first time in several years I haven't gone.
Same here. But oh well.
Maybe next year. Maybe
exactly.
We'll get lucky.
All right, let's get to the big pink elephant in the room. All right, let's talk about PS4 versus Xbox One. I will agree with you completely that in terms of press coverage, and especially the way how they nailed that, you know, a final nail in the coffin, that's saying, yeah, disc-based games, at least first-party, we also give the option to third-party developers, but at least first-party games, all disc-based games, no DRM. There's, you know, you can trade it in, you can give it to friends, you can sell it.
Exactly. They're gonna support used games, is what that all boils down to. Which, I'm like, okay, congratulations, you've just won the console war. That's a big part of it. Also, the specs. Now that the specs are out, PS4 wins.
I would put them actually fairly even. They're both
more memory, more cores.
No, they both have 8 cores. They both have 8 gigs. Granted, the Xbox One uses DDR3 and the PS4 uses GDDR5, but they both have 8 gigs. Now, the way how they use them, how they split them up, that's what you're talking about. Because Xbox allocates only 4 cores and 5 gigs of the RAM for gaming, whereas the rumor right now is it's what, 6 cores and 7 gigs of the RAM for the PS4.
Only 1 gig for the OS.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, I'll give them credit where credit's due on that. Now, is this gonna? It may sound like I'm being a little dissenting towards the PS4, and that's not the case. I will probably get a PS4 eventually.
I guarantee you I'll have a PS4 before I have an Xbox One.
But I look at it, and initial press shock. Oh yeah, I mean, Sony stomped Microsoft.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I mean, strictly
everything.
in the PR department, they kicked their ass.
And then I had a couple articles written up, ready to go, and then I was going to create them into videos, and then I waited. I wanted to wait for like 48 hours to wait for the other shoe to drop, so I can actually get all the details behind everything that wasn't said at those press conferences. And I explained a little bit on Anna Break last week, and I'll just briefly go over it. Microsoft had a chance at the press conference to explain why they're doing what they are planning to do with the Xbox One, and they just ignored it, and that was a bad PR meltdown. But
unfortunately, sorry, go ahead.
No, my whole thing was, after sitting down and actually reading what they are planning on, what their ideas for the next 10 years with the Xbox One, I actually like the idea. They are basically trying to copy Apple and, more importantly, Steam in terms of system-wide DRM. And the reason Steam works right now, aside from the ridiculous sales they have all the time and emptying my wallet, is, and part and parcel why they can do those massive deals, is because they survive on limited ownership, in the sense that when you buy a game from Steam, you have the option of adding it to your account or gifting it to a friend. That's it. You can't trade in a game or resell the game after you finished it. And that's what basically Microsoft's trying to do, in the sense of, one thing they didn't state, and they should have stated, every single game that comes out on the Xbox One will be available as a digital download from day one. And I really appreciate that. I actually like the fact to be able to download the games anyways, for the sole fact that on both the PS4 and the Xbox One, when you buy a game on disc and you put it in the system, it's going to automatically install anyways to the hard drive. That's why it's a 500 gig hard drive built into both of them.
Right.
With the way technology's been going and the way Steam has been growing, I mean, when Steam first started out, it had some massive growing pains. It did not work. A lot of people rebelled against it, and now it's every PC gamer's dream, basically, about what you can do with that. I think that's eventually going to happen if Microsoft sticks to their guns. Now, the whole thing about the caveat with the used disc sales, that's their problem right there, is because if they went strict digital only, they wouldn't have to deal with that. They could go the Steam path, and it would work eventually and a lot sooner. But once you add the used games, the actual physical disc aspect into that, and with the current economy of everyone going, I want to be able to trade these games when I'm done with them, or sell them for $9 at GameStop. That's where they run into problems. That's my whole spiel on it. I actually like what Xbox One's going to be doing, but it's not going to be a viable way to do things, probably for the next not for the next 5 years.
The argument I've got is this: if I buy a car, like say my pickup, I go to the dealership, I make my down payment, I get my car loan, and I take the car home. I spend my time paying off said car, and I get the title of that car. I own that car. Toyota has zero claim on that car. Toyota could come back to me and say, hey, we want the car back, and I can tell Toyota to go pound sand. Now, take that argument with a video game. I bought a game. I paid for the game. I paid the game off. It's my game. Why should I give you, the maker of the game, any additional money? Now, you can easily counter that with, well, then that causes, that prevents people from doing initial sales of the game. And you're right. That is a legitimate argument to an extent. The point is, if I buy the game, it's my game. I buy the truck, it's my truck.
And again, you can easily look at this as physical versus digital.
Okay.
And that's the way I look at it right now. I look at it as...
Oh, my desk is falling apart. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. The way I look at it is, if you buy something physical, a physical game, yes, I completely understand that you own it. You should be able to do whatever you want with it. I completely agree with that and support that 100%. When you go digital, there's kind of a change in.
Oh, I agree. In a download-only scenario, because of the nature of it, yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But because you also get updates and all that other fun crap.
Right.
In a digital-only scenario, with the licensing and whatnot, you can't trade it, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not 100% in favor of it, but I understand it, and there's logistics there.
Right.
But if I buy Metal Gear Solid 4 on disc, and I get done with it, okay, here's a better yet. Jason, how did you get your hands on Call of Duty Black Ops?
I got it from you.
My point is proven.
There's pros and cons to both sides.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, and especially with the console, with console gaming itself, that's been kind of that way ever since the beginning of the console. So, so it's a massive change in thought.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing we're in a transitional time. We're going from, hey, I've got a CD, I want to do what I want with a CD, to, hey, we got the Steam, and it's because we're in a transitional phase right now. It's going to take time for all of this to figure itself out and feel itself out.
Right.
And right now, all of the back and forth debates are going to be going back and forth, but we need to have this discussion. This is a discussion that needs to be had,
yes,
so that we can establish what to go forward with.
And I feel, go ahead.
I prefer physical-based media.
Okay.
I enjoy Steam. I love Steam, but you know what? I bought Steam. Where is it? I got BioShock Infinite on a box.
Mm-hmm.
It included a code for Steam. Or it includes things. So I now do it through Steam, but if I need to reinstall, I've got the discs.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And the thing is, what's funny is that I'm of two minds about this.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, like anime, I want to have a physical copy. I want to have it on Blu-ray and whatnot. I mean, yes, I pay for a subscription to Crunchyroll and sites like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I play for Crunchy. I pay for Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. But it's nice to have that physical copy. And with games, I used to be of the same thought process of I want games, the physical games. To be honest, because I play mostly PC games now, and there are a few console titles I still play, I look at them now and they go, to me, you could laugh at this, having the physical copy of the game just makes my background look nicer. That's about it to me.
That's a radical oversimplification in my mind, but okay, I can buy that.
Yeah, I like the fact that because I'm online all the time, the fact that my entire library is basically online, I can just grab and choose which games I want to play right at that moment. That right. I like that. That's me though.
When it comes to the anime, comparing it to the anime end of it though, or any movie for that matter, it's kind of a difficult comparison to make. I mean, yeah, if you really want to get down to it, you could argue it that way, but the way I view movies versus games is, sure, yeah, there are pirates out there. I could go out there and I could watch all the fan subs I want.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who will do nothing but digi-subs, and thereby, and there are those who scream that is the reason that the anime business is dying the way it is, and I disagree with that. That's a whole other argument. But the way I view it is, I could watch something, say I see something on Hulu or Crunchy. If I like it, well, number one, I paid for it through I paid a little bit by seeing it in the subscription service. But if I like it, I'll go out and I'll buy the disc.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's anime that I've watched online and thought, oh my God, this is incredible, and then I've gone out and bought the disc. Do I intend to watch it again? Yes, at some point. But have I in a lot of them? Not really. There are several that are honestly, they're sealed on my shelf right now. But I bought them because I wanted to support the title. Yes. I wanted to show the distributors, this is the kind of stuff I like. Please make more. Video games, unfortunately, because of the whole, and then I'm kind of going to argue. I'm going to defeat my own argument a little bit here.
Please go ahead.
Well, no, because I see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that the other folks are complaining is, okay, you bought the game, you played the game, you want to sell the game. There should be a way to track it.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it should be. I don't necessarily feel that Electronic Arts or Activision deserves money off of my selling back to GameStop for $9, which is a whole other joke.
We're not even going to get into that.
So that they can turn around and rip somebody else off for 5 times that amount.
Yep.
In that instance, then maybe perhaps the manufacturers should get some, but that should at least be counted in overall sales.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem.
Right.
Sales and popularity they don't take used game sales into account. They don't track it. You don't know that they sold 5 copies of Arkham City.
Right.
You have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Again, these are all problems that need to be addressed and addressed publicly between now and November. So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen in
now and November.
Well, when the PS4 and the Xbox One jump online.
I know. It's just like, really? We've got till November to solve this shit?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Longer. It's going to take longer. Come on.
We have between now and November of 2027.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, but enough about the console wars because we're going to be talking about that for years on end.
Jason.
Yes?
What were your favorite bits?
There was a game that was a big favorite of mine when it came out, and I played it religiously. And then I gotta say, aside from the big 3 press conferences, well, now big 2, for the publisher conferences, last year it was all Ubisoft. Ubisoft had the press conference. This year, I want to say EA slightly edged them out. And one of the main reasons why they edged that...
Say Madden, I'm going to hurt you.
Oh, screw that. I'm not a sports gamer. So the hell with that. No, it was because they showed this trailer. And I'm like, okay, it's pre-rendered CG. Okay, cool. Someone's getting a tattoo. Oh my god, it's a new Mirror's Edge game. Holy shit. And I lost my mind.
Oh, see, Mirror's Edge, I couldn't get into that game.
Oh, I loved it with a passion.
Oh,
Absolute
man.
Great gameplay. Now, due to this trailer, it looks like it's going to focus a little more on combat than actually the whole parkour thing. But I'm hoping I'm still going to enjoy it, nevertheless.
Well, if they're going to focus more on combat versus the parkour, I may actually get into it. See, that's my problem. That's the thing that killed Tron Uprising for me. Or not Uprising, Evolution. That's the thing that killed Tron Evolution for me, was all the parkour crap. I enjoy watching parkour. I enjoy what... By the way, is it as pixelated to the chat room as it is to me? Because I'm seeing extremely pixelated here.
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay. The first Mirror's Edge game, I couldn't get into it. It drove me nuts. And I've even got it on my iPad. Don't even get me started on that. But,
Swipe.
Oh, Jesus. But the storyline looked neat. The concept gave me vertigo. Now, that being said, I am pretty seriously acrophobic. So...
Fair enough.
But thank you, Kent. If this one's more combat oriented than the parkour, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Okay. Either way, I think it's going to be an absolute great thing. I do appreciate the fact of what they put at the end of it, which was coming out ... when it's ready. DICE have been rumored to be working on this game for the past 2 years already, and given the fact that they put that there, tells me that A, they're nowhere near close to release, and B, they're going to take their sweet time with it, and I'm fine with that.
And C, they're taking a lesson from Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard, Valve.
Yeah, Blizzard and Valve, they started that, and I'm glad to see other companies do it. I mean, yeah, I want to see, there's other new games. Like, I want to see what the hell Project Titan is. I want Blizzard to reveal what Titan is.
The one that they just recently announced that they are starting over from scratch, and they scrapped everything they've done so far.
They scrapped Titan?
They scrapped all the work they've done so far and started from scratch to go in a new direction.
Oh, Jesus.
They made that announcement about a month ago.
I missed that one.
They laid off about 50 people for that one, so.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. So whatever path it was going, it wasn't what Blizzard wanted.
Phoenix with FF14 with it.
It was.
Although the new trailer for 15, did you see that?
Yes, with
all the for 15 for 14.
For 14, yes.
Oh my God, that's looking good. Yeah, I want that.
14 looks to be a hell of a lot of fun, and I'm hoping the open beta will be out fairly soon.
Be.
I know.
I gotta recoup my damn money on
that. But Squeenix actually had a pretty impressive E3 with a lot of announcements. Again, you know, getting more hype, getting more people out there to be, you know, hey, we're gonna give Final Fantasy 14 another shot. Come check it out.
We're actually doing it right this time.
Yes. Also, the fact with Final Fantasy Versus 13, which was announced when the first Final Fantasy 13 was announced years ago, and we've heard
they copped out on this one. I'm sorry.
They
seriously copped out on it.
The fact that they haven't released any information about it over the past few years, that's bad on them. But at least they're still going to come out with it, and they just rebranded it as Final Fantasy 15.
My point exactly.
Hey, at least it's coming out.
Yes, at least it's coming out, but turning it into 15, unless they're doing a full reboot of the universe and the storyline, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but then when you get things like, hey, look, they show this trailer, and I'm like, okay, it's another remake, because they're never going to come out with Kingdom Hearts 3, because they're just like Valve in that they don't want to release a game with a 3 at the end of it. For the longest time, they were like that. And
I'm still waiting on F3 for Half-Life 2. So,
yeah, I mean, give me Half-Life 2 episode 3. Yeah, give me that at least. No, we don't have a single word of that.
Yeah.
But then they started showing this trailer, and I went, oh, please. Is it finally... They skipped a console generation, but is Kingdom Hearts 3 finally going to come out? And it's so odd because I never thought that a 30-year-old guy would be so happy to play a game sponsored by Disney. But you look at this and it's like,
Disney
okay,
didn't write it.
Yeah, I know. This collaboration, people at the beginning were like, they're out of their freaking minds. But then it's one of the most enjoyable gaming experiences I've had in the past 4 years.
I really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 1. I never finished KH2. I need to.
But it's now coming out for PS3.
Exactly. So,
in an HD remix, no less.
I'm looking forward to that, big time. I'm really looking forward to
that. Yeah, it's Kingdom Hearts 1.5 remix is going to come out mid-September, and I'm sure we'll get Kingdom Hearts 2 sometime early next year before that comes out. The fact that they say in development doesn't give us crap in terms of a date, but you know what? I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, no, it'll work. They'll make it through. It's just
I'll wait a long time. Yeah, I'll wait a long time for a game. Just give me semi-regular updates on said game.
Well, exactly, and that's the big thing is Squeenix doesn't like to do that. I mean, they've been though I must give them credit for what they're doing with the reboot of 14. I mean, they've been releasing like every couple months or every couple weeks. They're releasing a update of what the status is. The developers do a thing. They show footage. They show gameplay. They show examples, and then that admittedly a pre-render with some in-game stuff that looks sweet for 14 that they released.
Right.
That game's looking pretty damn good.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, let's hope it stays good. But unfortunately, it's a Final Fantasy game, so it's going to be grindtastic.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. But is that going to diminish your entertainment value of the game?
Depends. If they copy Pasta the Villages again, yes.
Okay.
If they don't copy Pasta the Villages, yeah, I'll enjoy it.
Okay, good point.
That was my big thing with the first one.
Okay, well, your big game of the year of E3 this year was Watch Dogs.
Yes.
And I was pretty close to that. There was also the new Ubisoft IP based off a Tom Clancy franchise, The Division, which looked pretty cool, but it had various Watchdog-esque features into it.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, it looks fine. And then we've talked about this before. We've shown footage from it before, but just be able to see it in game, played against like six or seven different people at the same time. Just seeing Bungie's Destiny go absolutely crazy, and it just looked epic.
And it doesn't look like a Halo ripoff.
No,
which is what I expected.
No.
I expected that. I mean, part of me was afraid that Bungie would get lazy and go, "Oh, we're just going to slightly modify our Halo assets," and you know, I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Very true. Now, it was funny that they decided to show this at the PS4 press event, and it's like, we're proud to be to showcase this. Well, it's not an exclusive, thankfully.
No, it's not.
It's going to be on current gen, next gen, and PC.
Yes, which means I'll play it.
Yeah. It's kind of like the other thing with during the Xbox One press event, they showcased Titanfall, and it actually looked quite fun. So I was thinking, well, damn, I'm going to have to, get an Xbox One eventually. No, if you go online, it's for the Xbox One, and then they'll be on the Xbox 360, and also on PC. So it's like, checkbox for not getting an Xbox One?
and this argument's been made, and I think I told you this earlier. I honestly think that Microsoft is trying to subtly bow out of the console business. They can't just up and walk away, but if you look at the specs of the Xbox One, and you look at its interface, it's more or less Windows 8 focused on gaming.
Yeah. Well, essentially because the Windows 8 kernel is part of one of the two virtual machines running constantly on the system.
And yeah, exactly. So it's basically a PC on your TV. Okay, I've got one of those already.
Yeah, and if you don't have one yet, build an HTPC or wait till the Steam box comes out.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that. I wish they'd hurry up and give us the damn specs on it.
Yeah, well, Valve hasn't been at E3 for quite a while, so.
Yeah, neither is Blizzard. Although Blizzard actually popped their head in.
During the Sony press conference, we've already heard for Diablo 3 is coming to the PS4. I'm like, we've known about this since February.
Yeah, but I want it.
Okay.
I want to play it on my PS4.
Okay, well, I haven't played it on PC yet, so I'm a little behind on that.
Must fix that.
Okay,
it's fun.
But I think my biggest surprise of E3 was actually this game, which was shown during the Microsoft press event. I'm like, okay, is this what I think it is? And it's, holy crap, it's first-person shooter or third-person shooter based on Plants vs. Zombies. When they were teasing a while ago that Plants vs. Zombies 2 was coming out, I thought it was gonna be another touch game you like before, and I really enjoy those tower defense games.
I really enjoy Plants vs. Zombies a lot.
Oh yeah, this came out of left field. I was not expecting something like this.
Yeah.
Especially with the title Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
It's Plants vs. Zombies Doom, basically.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I mean, and it looks great to boot. And of course, they came out during the press conference and stated, this is coming out first on Xbox One. Well, that's nice, but also like other titles that you've shown during your press event, this will eventually also show up on the Xbox 360 and PC. Check another one for the PC.
And you wonder why I say Microsoft or PlayStation spanked Microsoft.
I agree with you.
I'm spanked itself.
Wow, you went robot-y for a second. Repeat that.
Did I? Sorry about that. So pretty much Microsoft spanked itself.
Kind of, yeah. They had a chance and a moment to really showcase what their ideas were. And they just went, let's just make a standard cookie-cutter presentation, and that's it. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, and some of the stuff like, okay, case in point, the way they presented the whole you can't loan games thing, if Bill was still at the helm, it would not have been presented that way.
Okay, to play devil's advocate, because I've been doing that all show so far on it, there is a sharing feature, and albeit the way they implemented it was pretty pathetic.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like you can have a group of 10 people. They call it your family, friends, whatever. That if you give them access, they can actually have access to every game you have in your library, and they can play it for free on their system. Kind of way for you to be able to try a game, or if you don't have any money, you can just, hey, can I, borrow this game for a while. Also offers the whole thing of if you want to play like co-op on one of those games, you have to limit it to only one person at a time on that loaner system. You can't have like 4 or 5 people using the same game at the same time. There's also, but the downside to all of this,
I say this is the part where I can be sanctimonious.
yeah, the downside of this, and please feel free because I'm going to join you on this, is that those people on your list have to be there for at least 30 days before you can do so. And I look at that, I'm like, so you're saying for at least the first month that I have this console, I can't do jack all with this with my friends.
But it gets better. You loan it to your friends,
and you
can't play it while they're playing.
Yeah, and it's locked on your system.
Yeah. So, hope you finished the game before you loaned it.
Yeah.
I mean, now realistically, if you were to loan a disc, you wouldn't have the disc. Blah blah blah. Yada yada. But
again, these are all these things that have to be.
Yeah, these are all the details that have to be ironed out over time. But Microsoft, if Microsoft achieved anything at E3, they have perfected how to shoot themselves in the foot. They have got that down cold.
All right.
And to comment on Dr. Muppy's comment in the chat room, Commodore 64, yeah, very close. The thing with Commodore in general was Commodore was just bad management. The whole company was just really bad management.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. All right. Shall we move from games to, well, the other big event was WWDC for the Apple conference. We'll talk about that in a moment. But some video game related news real quick.
I want to know if that's the same writer. I think it is.
We've talked about it for a while, and we're just going to do some updates on it. We know that Hollywood doesn't have a single original design in all of their combined heads. So
that's not true. Pacific Rim.
Okay, fine. One person, but he's on acid most of the time, so
If that's on acid, I'm okay with that. Really.
But it seems like right now it's the trend of let's take comic books and make them into movies.
Right.
Well, the next one is going to be video games. Ubisoft is diving head first into this. They've already announced that they're working on an Assassin's Creed movie and also a Splinter Cell movie. They also announced they're working on a Ghost Recon adaptation, which is going to be helmed by Explosion Master himself, Michael Bay.
Explosions!
But they announced 3 others.
Yes, and one of these is a no-brainer. The first one better be CG, because if it's not, something's wrong.
Okay, well, let's go down the list. Well, there's Watch Dogs. They announced they're going to make a movie based on Watch Dogs, and you know what? I'm perfectly fine with this.
That's the no-brainer.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Watch the gameplay of that game, and it screams must be a movie.
Yeah. The next one, I'm on the fence of Far Cry. They're going to make a movie based on the franchise, which I'm praying that Uwe Ball doesn't get within 1,000 yards of this.
No, please. You bite your tongue, knock on wood, cut off a head of a chicken, something. No.
Yeah.
Uwe Ball must be nowhere near this. But which of the Far Cry franchise are they basing it off of?
They don't state.
Because the first Far Cry was lame as hell. Second Far Cry, not much better.
No.
Third Far Cry, mind screw.
Yes.
Third Far Cry was one of the far better than the first 2.
And I think one of the highest records for number of curse words in a video game at any given point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Well, come on. The movie starts and you've got boobs in the first 5 minutes of the game. Rather, the game starts.
I love how Shadart in the chat goes, it could be worse. It could be M. Night Shyamalan, which, given the fact that because he recently directed After Earth and that tanked.
That. Oh, my God. Why do they let this man still make movies?
Why do you still let Uwe Ball still make movies?
I don't know.
Someone's getting favors from him somehow, so, you know.
Maybe, never mind. I can't say that.
But the last one is going to be awesome.
And it better be CG.
Well, given the fact that it's also going to be a movie and an interactive TV show, and the TV show is CG. Yes. The Raving Rabbids are getting a movie.
And when Nikki hears this, she is going to freak the hell out in a good way.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, speaking of which, they're making a Raving Rabbids movie. Why?
So,
coming from outer space.
I don't know. But they're making a movie.
There's no storyline to the rabbits. They're just rabbits.
And that not every movie needs a storyline like that. It could be just a popcorn flick.
That's true. That's true.
No, I mean, this is not the first foray from video games into movies. I mean, hell, look at Ubisoft's, I think, first venture into the movie adaptation was Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, and that netted, you know, it was a $200 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
It had
had some incredible special effects.
Oh yeah,
it had Jake Gyllenhaal. It had Ben Kingsley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my respect for Kingsley's going down more and more. Though
it's starting to take more and more bit roles.
He can act. Don't get me wrong. He can act his butt off. But man.
But it's like, yeah, it was a $200 million budget, and they got that back plus $135 million more. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that good of a movie.
But it made money. That's all that matters.
Oh, it did make money. And you know why it made money? I can tell you exactly why it made money. Jake Gyllenhaal. It was the boy. It was the eye candy for the girls.
Yeah, basically. Especially because, you know, his sister isn't really not much in terms of eye candy, but you know.
Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
She may not be the hottest thing on the planet, but I will watch a movie that she's in.
She has acting chops. I'll give her that.
Oh, yeah, she does. Have you seen The Secretary?
Yeah, okay, good point.
I rest my case.
Okay, good point. All right. Another announcement regarding video games getting the movie adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
GK Films announced they're working with Crystal Dynamics, the studio behind the latest reboot of this franchise, to make a new Tomb Raider movie.
Sans Angelina.
Yes, they do not want it to be anything like a continuation or anything remotely close to the Angelina Jolie movies.
Which is kind of sad, because I actually liked the Angelina Jolie movies.
I was kind of like indifferent on them.
I like Angelina Jolie, so
okay. Well, there's that.
And I happen to love Lara Croft. So, but given her current physical state, she can't do it anymore anyway.
This is true because there's a certain asset of Lara Croft that's
that
needed
she no longer can do. Yeah. So now I'm. Which writer are they talking about? Because I noticed in our notes you got you listed as the Buffy writer.
Yes.
Which Buffy writer?
Joss Whedon's second, right hand man when it came to writing for the Buffy the
So
the
not
TV
the original
series.
movie writer.
No, this is the TV series writer. Marty Noxon has been tasked to writing the script for the film, and
okay, so we're gonna have a sarcastic, snarky Laura.
That'll work. And I know that Haley Atwell, a popular actress nowadays, she actually was in Captain America. I forget her name. It's the military chick, the British chick.
Oh, the one he fell in love with.
Yes.
Okay.
She has time and time again expressed a desire to portray Lara Croft in a film. Possibilities.
She better be damned athletic.
She would need to be. Anybody would need
all
to
I
be.
gotta say.
So
She better be damned athletic.
yeah. So I mean that's some news. We've discussed a few of these movies that are coming out. I know the Need for Speed movie is currently in production right now. So, which is funny because it's backed by Steven Spielberg. So it's Spielberg's take on the Fast and the Furious.
I'm kind of the last few things Spielberg's backed haven't been that fantastic.
Yeah.
It's I'm kind of nervous about that. But
Okay, but that's enough about E3. Let's speed through WWDC news from Apple because we can,
yes,
with the exception of one thing, we can speed right through it. I'm gonna go through it real quick. They announced their new OS X operating system, and instead of going with another,
they ran out of cats.
yeah, they ran out of cats. I was hoping for the OS X Liger, but you know,
That would have been awesome. Or Tygon. That would have been epic.
it would have been nice. But no, they decided to go for they're going the Intel route in terms of naming their OS X, their operating systems, with towns in California.
No, is it towns or beaches?
I think it's a combination of the two.
Okay.
Because the first one's is called OS X Mavericks, which has
Yeah.
some really sweet waves as far as I can tell.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
They also announced, hey, iOS 7, and because Steve Jobs is no longer in the picture, we want to go with another person within the organization that is very has his pulse on the latest design styles. And of course, they're going to go with the man with the no button shirt all the time, Johnny Ive. And he went very what would we say, minimalistic on this one?
Yeah, but honestly, I kind of like it.
Yeah, when I first saw this, the redesign, it was, wait a minute, the hell? This is Android.
Well, yeah, it does. It does kind of remind me of Android in that sense because they took away the nice, shiny, curved buttons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're still rounded corners, but they're not.
They're even more
There's
rounded
no
than
depth
before.
to them. Yeah, there's no depth.
It's all flat. Now you can do, if you slide down, you get notifications, but if you slide up, you actually get this interactive menu that you can...
which looks pretty cool.
yeah, it looks kind of nice. It's kind of like transparent. It works for me. I love the fact that they
the
actually...
arrow glass thing is an interesting touch.
Yeah. I do find it funny that they built in an integrated flashlight button.
Yeah. Well, you haven't done it? You haven't used your phone as a flashlight?
We all do it. The fact that they were putting that in the OS itself, I mean, I give them props for that.
It's a smart point thing to do. Not if they just place the damn maps.
Yeah, eventually. I still find it funny that if you text, in the new Safari, the default search is Google.
Layers. Yes, very well phrased. Wax paper layers. AKA Apple Arrow Glass.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Which is still funny because it took less than a week, but it's already out online and I might download it. There is a new skin for Android that looks exactly like this.
Nice. One of the things they threw in there that I thought was a neat touch, but it's just eye candy. It doesn't serve any actual function. Is the way they kind of fake depth with the parallax.
Yeah.
Now, is that just going to be on the iPhone, or is that going to be on the pads as well?
It's supposed to be whatever that can actually run
System-wide?
this. Yeah, system-wide.
Well, also, I've noticed the hardware that's going away.
Yes, the 3GS.
Anything below 4
Mhm.
won't be able to run it.
Same-
iPad 1, bye-bye.
Next.
iPad 2, iPhone 4, iPhone 4S. You can run it, but you're going to be limited in your features.
Yep.
I've seen the list of what's going on, what you're not going to get. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. But the good thing is, I'll finally get Siri on my iPad too, so I can ask my iPad where I can hide a body. Or I can
I'm
ask
sorry. I'm sorry, Michael. I can't do that. I've reported this to the NSA.
Well, have you done? Oh, you weren't there for that. Ask your iPad. Those of you who have iPhones, ask Siri if she's reporting to, if she's
I told you about this.
reporting to the NSA and see what she comes back with. It's pretty funny.
The other thing regarding is they announced iTunes Radio.
I'm looking forward to this.
I like this, especially because of the cost. First off, if you want to keep it free, it is ad supported, but you do have that option. It'll utilize everything you have in your library and then create a Genius playlist off that if you wanted to. But then they have, I forget, it's the iTunes Match or whatever option it is, where it'll take all your MP3s and what you already have on your computer and then
try and mix you a list based on that.
well, it'll actually give you legit versions of those MP3s on iTunes. It's a feature they have. That is $25 for a year. If you sign up for that, not only is all your MP3s, and my MP3 folder is huge, become basically legit. Most of them are, but if you have a bunch of MP3s, not only they're thrown into iTunes and you get legit versions of it, so it's on all your iOS devices, but you get iTunes Radio ad free. $25 a year.
That's actually not bad. I mean, and given how iTunes works, I think they'll probably do a far superior job than Pandora does.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Pandora is not a bad idea, but I look at Pandora and I think Yahoo Radio, but when Yahoo Radio, or was it what they call it, Yahoo Cast or whatever it was, the Yahoo streaming system when it first came out, when you could rate stuff up and down and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Far superior, in my opinion. But then they had to dumb it down, and you couldn't do all that anymore, and then they lost interest.
Yeah, sure. So I mean,
that's not the best part of WWDC.
And then they said, you know what? I think it was Phil Schiffer that went on stage, their hardware guy, and was like, "We know you guys been asking for an update for this." I mean, they didn't update the MacBook Pros. They don't need to. They have Retina. They did update the Airs, not with the Retina display, but with the Haswell chip, Intel chip, which provided a 9 to 12 hour boost in battery life, which I give them massive.
Oh yeah, no points on the props on the battery life, but that's not the part I'm getting to.
But then they get to go ahead, Michael.
By the way, there was one thing in the chat room. There's already a male voice for Siri.
Yes.
The idea that Siri got testosterone. I mean, Nikki's Siri is in a male voice already. So that's, I mean, why they made a big deal out of that, I don't get. But the thing that got me is the new Mac Pro ashcan.
This thing is awesome. Everybody was like, the hell is this?
Now, that being said, technically, engineering-wise, and everything else, the way they've made use of space, the way they've made use of cooling and the whole 9 yards, it's an incredible piece of engineering. I respect that. The idea that it's 1/8 the size of the big silver box under the table behind me, I respect and appreciate that. That you can do all this external stuff. I'm down with it.
Dual GPUs are standard. It's great.
Yes, yeah. Basically, it's dual GPU standard. So it can handle huge ass monitors or multiples thereof.
It can handle 4K resolutions, so it's all
out the gate. What bugs me about it is it looks like a suppository.
Good news! It's a suppository.
Everyone, it's a suppository. And depending on who you look to, it looks like a suppository. It looks like a what was the one site? It was a Japanese this thing. They announced this, and within less than 24 hours, there was a whole thing in Tumblr on Japanese people who had altered the graphic, making it look like a sukiyaki pot, making it look like a rice cooker, making it look like various food things. And I didn't see the robotics demonstration, unfortunately, so I can't comment on. Oh no, you're talking about the little cars on the racetrack? That was interesting. I want to know where it's going.
That's what I'll say. The presentation was nothing. I was not impressed. Where this technology could go from here, in terms of what you could use with different kinds of robotics and whatnot, that could be cool.
Hacking
but
UAVs,
the whole cars thing did not impress me one bit.
What about hacking UAVs?
Well,
now all that back to the rolling ash can. That being said, everything, even with the design thing, everything that's in it, I would happily overlook all that. I would not argue if one of these showed up on my desktop.
Likewise, this thing, the amount of technology they crammed into this, is mind-blowing. The fact that it has 6 Thunderbolt 2 ports that can transfer data at 20 gigs a second.
20, I mean, I
was just like, even the little tweaks, like it has a motion sensor, so when it knows when you're turning around to look at the ports, and the ports will light up.
Exactly.
That's just typical Apple. They'll look for things that are not necessary, but it's just a nice touch.
Nice to have. Yeah. It's got to give them credit in their design department. I just don't really dig the whole rolling ash can.
I'm fine with it, actually. I like to have small, I love my PC to death, my giant tower that I've built from scratch. I love that thing. I would definitely trade that for this.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I
Okay,
would love no.
That's
because there's a lot of stuff I do on PC that I'm still going to do on PC. That being said, I would not argue having one of those because there's certain things I would love to do on that machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like some video stuff. I'd still do it all on Adobe because I'm sorry, I don't like.
And with Adobe,
I'm not a fan of Final Cut.
And with Adobe now going everything CC or Creative Cloud, where the max you get to pay a month is $50 a month. Now, if you have previous versions, it's $30 a month. If you only want to pay for a single app, it's $20 a month, and there's a free 30-day trial that I'm currently on right now.
So if I get to the point where I'm using it enough that it warrants that, I'll do it. But at this point, it doesn't warrant it. I'll stick with my 5.5. But
for me, I'm actually right at that cusp that if I keep on doing a couple more projects a week that I'm doing right now, I might just shell out the money for it because I think it's worth it.
Well, I know my dad went and got it, and he loves it. He thinks it's fantastic, and I think it's a great idea, but I don't use it enough to warrant the expense at this point in time. Like if I get to the point where I'm doing enough work with it, then I'll do it.
Yeah,
but I can't justify the expense at the moment.
Well, speaking of justifying expenses, I have something for you.
Oh, by the way, last touch on the ash can.
Go for it.
One thing I would definitely use it for, Pro Tools.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear God, yeah.
Can you imagine the layers and depths you can go in Pro Tools on that thing?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's sexy.
Well, what's also sexy is what we're going to wrap up the episode with.
Yes.
We've talked about a couple weeks ago about Asus and their upcoming 4K monitors, the 31.5-inch 4K monitor for like $3,800. And then Nightstar in the chat, I follow him, we're friends on Facebook. He posted this last night, this link to this review for this new TV and how they used it as a monitor, and they have an hour-long video of them testing it on games and footage and whatnot. And I just I had to pick up a bucket. It was just all the drool coming out of my mouth. It was just a company called Seiki. I've heard of them before. They're kind of one of those like third party.
They're an underdog.
Yeah, they're underdog. Doesn't mean they don't have good quality,
good stuff,
but they're just not widely known. If you go to their Amazon page, you might notice they have a 50-inch TV. That's 4K resolution. So I'm thinking if the 31-inch monitor was $3,800, this has to be at least $5,000.
Well, and this is a 50-inch, if I remember correctly.
50-inch. 50-inch 4K
how much is it,
TV.
Jason? Tell everybody how much it is.
It's under $1,000.
Yeah, and it's 120 hertz LED.
Well, that's the case though. You go 1080p.
No.
It's
120 hertz is fantastic.
The thing is, it's 120 hertz at 1080p. It's 200 hertz at 720p. When you get to 4K, it drops to 30 hertz. But that being said,
it's 4K support.
Yeah, it's 4 freaking K for under $1,000 shipped. And I checked out the review site that he linked, and then I went online and searched a number of my normal tech sites for reviews. Apparently, all around this past few days have received this and started doing reviews, and they all say for the money, it's by far one of the best deals you can get right now. So it's like, I can take away all my monitors and go, bam, 4K TV.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's nice. I'm still, because I'm the type that is weird this way, I'm gonna wait until at least there are other players on the board. I want more players on the board, and I want to give it at least 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Because I wanted to figure out any bugs. I want to actually see enough 4K content to warrant it. I mean, how long did it take me to get my HD?
Good point.
Took me a while.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure.
For me, honestly, if I had $1,000, I would drop it right now for that.
If I had $1,000, I know I got something else I could drop it on.
Oh, yeah, very true. Yes. There's a number of things we could buy for $1,000. We won't get into that. But honestly, I'm one of those early first adopters, for better or for worse.
Yeah, if I had $1,000, I'd drop it on either the Canon TI. Refresh my memory, Dr. Muppy. Is that a 720? The one that
the
you
new
got?
camera.
No, there's one that Dr. Muppy picked up that is an awesome Canon, or the D5500.
D5500 is nice. Neko Samurai, it says only a piece can only a PC get a full effect. Yes, that's very true. In the one of the videos that I watched in terms of reviewing this, they went through like a bunch of high res games, like the latest Call of Duty game. They also went to Tomb Raider, the latest version, all in 4K. And he said he was worried that with the dropping down to 30 hertz, that it would be a problem. No, he's
what about, the only thing I'd worry about 30 hertz is smear.
And you might that could be a problem. Again, I'm going off of other people's reviews. I don't have $1,000. I don't have this in my room yet. Yet being the word.
Job.
I'm working on it. You know, first paycheck, I'll be very, very tempted to go out and go, I could drop my 1080p and then go for a 50-inch 4K monitor.
Better hand me down one of your 1080p's then.
Okay. All right. Well, as we always wrap things up with, Michael, what have you been watching? We've already talked about Tai Chi Zero, but what else have you been watching?
Oh, and I had an anime for you too. Ah! I lost it! Curse you, Tai Chi Zero. I'm finally almost done with the complete first series of Justice League.
Nice.
Stuff got dark towards the end there.
Good.
It was good writing before, but I'm watching it and I'm like going, okay, they did the death of Superman. They did, that's the one I'm on right now.
Mm-hmm.
They did a thing where the Justice League basically broke up for a while because of all their ego. You know, they were just like, what the hell? The writing is above par.
Mm-hmm.
These are episodes I haven't seen yet, so
okay.
Wow.
For me, I've been catching up on a couple series. Attack on Titan's still amazing. I decided to play catch up because I was a few episodes behind on Gargantia on the Vertigo Planet, the one of the latest series by Production IG. And have you watched any of that, Michael? Yet, Michael? Nothing. Oh, well, because they go, essentially they're fighting these giant aliens and whatnot. Well, in episode 9, I'm not giving spoilers. I love it when you get into like a series and there's always that episode where they talk about the massive backstory all in one go and they explain a bunch of stuff, and usually there's a plot twist or two. That's what happened in episode 9, and it was a mind frag.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like awesome. That caught up current on Imo, which you need to keep on watching.
Yes, I do.
And a couple other series, but other than that, earlier today I was watching Teen Titans Go, and
show was on crack. Not as much crack as Adventure Time. Oh,
this is true.
God.
This is very true. But I'm thoroughly enjoying Shizao.
I haven't gotten to watch it yet.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's been forward a lot.
Oh dear God, the internet went freaking crazy with this.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
Cube, did you hear that Homestuck is stuck? Homestuck. I'm sorry. It's like Homestuck is like Adventure Time. I can't. I put those two in the same boat, and then light them on fire.
Now. You don't need to light Adventure Time on fire. You just need to be drunk when you watch Venture Brothers. Oh my God! Have you been watching Venture Brothers?
Yes.
Did you catch all the cameos by characters who have died in the last one?
Yeah, that was impressive.
I was like going, holy crap, that's Shaggy. Oh my God, what the heck? Wow. Yeah. Venture Brothers is good.
Yes.
Venture Brothers is real good.
It's honestly there.
Don't give Hank caffeine. That's all I can say is don't give him caffeine.
Well played.
He makes Cornholio look tame.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna be about it. We went a little bit long on this episode, but we had a lot to cover, so
Yes, we did.
I think it was well worth it. But anything else we should add, Michael? We got everything.
Good.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us every single week. Catch us again next week. We'll be back. Well, I'll be back. Michael, you'll be on another trip.
Yes, I will be on another trip next weekend. So I'm going to be going up doing tech stuff.
The return of Nikki and tons of comic news.
That's the plan.
Sweet.
Speaking of which, she handed me another one that needs to be looked at.
What is that one? Ooh, the Dream
Merchant
Merchant
number 2 is 2 or 12. 2.
2. I read
Number
the first
2 is
one.
out.
It's
So
actually
if you're reading
really
it, if you're reading Dream Merchant, number 2 is out. If you're not reading it, why? It's real good.
Well played. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it. Stay tuned for post show and for Farm Runner's Basement. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.